I'm so excited right now, you guys. So, good morning and welcome back to my channel. I have all 5 of the brand new Bare Minerals Mineralist eyeshadow palettes. We have been waiting on these for quite some time and I'm so excited to dive in. These arrived on Friday afternoon and I did a quick Facebook live swatch where I swatched every single shade. I can link that down below. If you're not already following Spashivon on Facebook, you should be, so you can like and follow our page. And if there's anything you don't see here, I did everything in that video, but I figured this camera would pick it up a little more accurately, and for all of you on YouTube, I wanted to show you each one of these gorgeous palettes, and I already did you guys a quick tutorial this morning, so let's not wait and jump into it. Guys, it's Haley from Spashivon and welcome to our YouTube channel. Love to bring you guys best in beauty retail and luxury spa services. Let's go ahead and jump into this next video. So, like I mentioned, there's 5 different palettes. I love the packaging. It's more of a booklet type, but it does have this, which is really nice if you wanted to try and travel. The purpose being that when you open this up, you can easily remove these. It's supposed to be a recyclable palette, so I hope to see replacement packages that could be dropped in the future, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. Anyhow, there are 6 shades in every palette. So far, the color payoff has been better than any of their palettes so far. Bare Minerals, I say always, is like the last to do something normally, but when they do it, they always get it right, and it's better than it was before, especially when they discontinue and launch new items. So we'll just start with the first one that I have in my hand, which is the Burnished palette. This one has some gorgeous coppers along with some really fun shades like this smoke. So I'm just going to go through and swatch them for you. The first shade is called Smolder. I think this with a little bit of the 8 p.m. round the clock liner would be gorgeous to make just like that really deep smoky eye. The next color is called Heat, which is like has my name all over it. You guys know how much I've loved the buxom Boss Babe Betty. Next is Candlelit, which I think even for me would make a really nice highlight shade along with popping that inner corner. It kind of reminds me of the one that I always use out of the Boss Babe Betty for that as well. The fourth shade is called Smoke, which I think is really, really beautiful, especially if you're like me and you like to use more of those powdered eyeshadows to either smudge liner or as your liner alone. Spark is really pretty. It reminds me of the pink transition shade that I've been using in the Boss Babe Dolly palette. And I've actually liked that little pop of pink in the transition area on top of like a tan. It just adds a little warmth. And then the last shade is Earth, which is just going to be a gorgeous taupe. So that's palette 1, which is Burnished. Palette 2, I just finished filming you guys a first tutorial with, and it's what I have on my eyes today, and that is the Ultra Natural palette. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna start swatching these, and I'm gonna start with Sandstone. When I first saw this palette, it's not one that necessarily just like jumped out to me to be like the most exciting colors. But I did a bunch of freelance work over the weekend and ended up putting this on one of my clients, and it was just like the prettiest thing I had ever seen. And I like it because it's not too warm or too cool, so I think it's like the ultimate everyday. So this one is taupe, and then this is ecru, which is honestly the color of my skin, so you can't even see it, but it did make a pop on my inner corners when I used it today. And then next is Slate, which is kind of like that smoke color. And I'm going to cover up that ecru since it wasn't visible anyway. Slate is gorgeous, and that's what I used to smoke out the eyeliner today. Then Dawn is like this green taupe, which isn't a color I would normally go for, but I find that it's pulling like the greenish color out of everybody's eyes and is stunning in the transition area. And then last but not least is Shell. And I have Shell and Sandstone mix together on my lid today. So this is Ultra Natural. I think if you're looking for something that is going to be, like I said, everyday basic, not too warm, not too cool, this is finally the perfect combo. Next is Rosewood, which is the one I was most excited about, and I did wear this one initially, but I felt like the Ultra Natural tutorial was going to be more useful for everyone, and in the next tutorial we'll be using Rosewood. So I'm going to start with Blossom. If you loved the Boss Babe Betty palette, or you didn't want to do the Boss Babe Betty palette because the 12 different colors, this is Burnt Rose, because the 12 different colors feels like too much for you, then this one is going to be the one that you want. And this Marigold shade on this palette has like an insane amount of pigmentation. Next is Sepia, which is what I would use as eyeliner or to blend out eyeliner. Wildflower is a lot of fun. It's a really bright and kind of iridescent purple. It's looking a little more burgundy here, but if you spray it with a little bit of setting spray, it's kind of like a fun iridescent purple. And then last but not least is Primrose, and that one is also blending with my pale skin, you guys. I'm sorry. But that is Primrose. One thing I'm liking about this palette is the option of 2 different transition colors, because if you're like me, I know I mentioned this on Facebook, so if you've already watched that, I know this is repetitive and I'm sorry, but I always burn through the tan shades first in a palette, because even on a lazy day, I'll just put like a matte taupe in my transition area, so I like that with this one, there are options. Next is Heathered, which is a gorgeous purple palette. And it kind of reminds me of the Boss Babe Dolly, so if you've been enjoying that, you might want to pick this one up as well. So the first shade is Thistle. That is gorgeous. Next is Lavender, which is a really fun, cool purple. It's a lot cooler than you normally see in a palette. Almost has like a silvery hue. Then the first taupe in this one is called Buffed, which is really, really pretty. Then Plum would make, again, a great liner shade, just a really gorgeous deep plum. Orchid is next. Really, really pretty to pack on the lid with a smoky eye. And then last but not least is Posy, which is a really soft tan. And so that is the Heathered palette. Last but not least is Sunlit, which I think between it, Rosewood, and Ultra Natural will be our biggest sellers. This one too is just some really solid neutrals. I'm going to start with the shade Golden Hour, which is really beautiful. Then next is Sunwarmed, which is a gorgeous burgundy. Then Sandy is just a really good solid beige. It kind of reminds me, if you've been around Bare Minerals for a really, really long time, Sandy reminds me of the loose powdered Soul that we had back in the day. Then Mahogany is like the perfect liner, outer corner shade. Antiqued is a gorgeous green. And then last but not least, this is one of my favorite shadows out of all of the palettes, and that is the color Bronzed. That would make the prettiest smoky eye, even if you only put that one shade all over. That is the Sunlit palette. So that's the initial swatches of these 5 palettes. Each is going to retail for $32, and you get the 6 shades. The pigmentation's crazy, and I love them all. I think they're all very different, so I think you could easily make room for more than one, which I know I will be. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will be talking to you all very soon. I will link in the tutorial using the Ultra Natural palette down below, and I will be bringing you guys lots of tutorials using all the different palettes. I would love to bring you guys an eye tutorial using each one, just so you can see how they all play out if you're trying to make a decision. I thank you all for watching. Bye.